Today, protests in Iran and several cities worldwide are marking 1 year since Mahsa Amini died while in the custody of the Islamic Republic's morality police. The 22-year-old had been detained for not wearing her headscarf properly. Amini's death sparked protests that swept through Iran, resulting in hundreds of deaths and at least 7 government executions. CBS's Roxana Saberi has more.
For months, Iranians shouted women, life, freedom, and death to the dictator, in protests sparked by the death of Mahsa Amini in the custody of Iran's morality police 1 year ago today. The chants faded as tear gas, batons, and bullets left many injured, even blinded. But Puran Nizami, who was detained twice in the past year for her activism, told us from Tehran that the protests were not in vain. She says people will not go back to the way things were. True, the majority wanted this regime to fall, but the outcome still brings hope.
When you say these words to us, it must be very dangerous for you inside the Islamic Republic.
Fear exists for everyone, she says, but for the sake of our children and future generations, we have no choice but to keep speaking out. One victory, she says, is that many women are now daring to show their hair in public, flouting an ideological pillar of the Islamic Republic.
Gen Z protests in the most basic of ways, like rollerblading in the streets without mandatory hijab. They write graffiti on the walls in different cities saying that Iran is drowning in revolution.
Holly Dagras is an Iran analyst with the Atlantic Council.
Just because you're not seeing millions in the street corner doesn't mean that this is meaningless. And it's shaken the regime to its core.
Ilahe Ejbari says she fled Iran after she was detained for 4 days in an unknown location, where she was blindfolded, ridiculed for being a Baluch ethnic minority, beaten, tased, and sexually assaulted with a baton. How are you now?
I'm taking medication for depression. I have a lot of physical ailments, but I see no other path for resistance. They use violence, but I will keep resisting until they fall.
Roxana Saberi, CBS News, Washington.